Over the past few weeks, America has been swamped in politics as a part of the 2020 election season. We've seen politicians on both sides reach out, pander, or use celebrity endorsements to try to secure the black vote. Rappers like Ice Cube, 2 Chainz, Killer Mike, T.I., and Lil Wayne have all shown interest in Black America's future. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Rita Brent, Capone, and Pierre, to talk about their biggest demands for Black America. Now, Rita, I want to start with you. I know this is a topic that is near and dear to your heart. What are your thoughts, or what are your biggest demands for Black America?
Well, first of all, I'm not in the studio right now because I had to come back to Jackson, Mississippi to vote. So it's just that important to me. Sorry I'm not there, but Mike Espy is running for Senate. He's running against a woman who said that she would enjoy public hangings. So I had to vote for him. The Confederate flag, we got a new design in for Mississippi, had to vote for that. So it was very important that I had to be in Mississippi. But as far as my thoughts on Black folks and what I think we might be demanding, I wrote some things down. I know it's supposed to be one, but I have one collection, okay? So I break things up into like economic and systemic things. So economically, I'm thinking student loan forgiveness, tuition assistance, so that way we won't be riddled with debt and credit scores are affected, and then that in turn affects your wealth. So I think student loan forgiveness is a big one for me. Black business grants. I got one during COVID, and it helped me keep my particular brand on the up and up. So I think Black business grants are very important. Or if we're going to do loans, let them be interest free. Also, getting rid of qualified immunity, like that's something that we can do right now. Biden and Harris, they can get rid of qualified immunity where we protect the people more than we do police officers, because as it stands, police officers have more protection. I think we should offer an incentive for Black law enforcement officers to come on the force. That way the communities, the police force will reflect the community, because we see a lot of white police officers killing black men. So I think if we had more Black police officers, if they would offer an incentive for them to become police officers, maybe that would be helpful. Pardoning nonviolent drug offenders, that's a big one, because we know that Black men have been jailed disproportionately. So I think they should be pardoned, because there's folks out there making money off marijuana while Black men are rotting in jail for the same thing. So I think those are some short-term things that we can do right now. And on the long-term front, I know this will take a while as far as reparations, but I think all that plantation land that our ancestors worked on, I think all of that should be given back to us. So reparations, I think we should be giving that back in real estate, not necessarily some big chunk of money, but real estate, so we can finally close the racial gap. So the racial wealth gap. So those are just a few things, my collection.
No, weird. That was perfect. Capone, what about you?
What I left to say? What is left?
She hit it right on the head, right?
She had a list too.
That was for all of us, Rita. That was for all of us.
And bring back Martin Luther King. No.
That's right.
Wow. I was shocked. You really hit it on the nail. I think the plan should be basically Black people teaching other Black people how to start businesses and allowing us to, not depend on them so much. We seem to depend on them for every little thing, for loans, for judges and lawyers that they give to us. I don't agree with how, especially the system with the police. I really think they need to reform the justice system. And everything else, I agree with what Rita said.
And Pierre, what about you?
Jobs. Too many times Black people have been held out of economic growth and the job market. If you look at some places, it's not even proportioned to what the United States looks like. Say we're only 13% of the United population, but for some reason we're not 13% of the job force. We're 1 or 2% of it, And I think we should have either forcing companies to get rid of the older people who are ready to retire and bring new young Black people in, or minorities in, or find other jobs in companies. There's enough jobs to be created, and hand some to some Black people. I mean, it's just, I think the wealth problem. We don't have no money, then you start doing stuff that gets you put behind bars, or just a lot of stuff starts trickling down if you don't have a job. You don't feel self-worth, So I think creating good jobs for Black people would be a thing the government should really focus on.
Yeah, I do want to make sure to have an open discussion because I feel like it's important for us to come to the round table and have these discussions. So when you say, just because I know some people will probably wonder, when we say hand down, some people that, as a black person, I don't want to be the one that I don't need any handouts or anything like that.
No, we need some handouts. No, we've been put so far behind everybody, so far behind. It's time for us some reparations, it's time for us to get some, I'll call it reward or some benefits for being dragged into this country, unbeknownst to us wanting to be here from the start. So it's time for them to pay back. I don't care how you pay. If you hand me the money, give me an easier line of way to, because white folks have been doing it for themselves for years. They don't complain. They don't complain about handout. You never heard a white person say, "Man, don't hand me no job." Bullshit, why we got to be like that? Well, then you hand me a job. Hand me whatever you need to hand me to get me on another level outside of my poverty-stricken situation, or my family can get in a better situation, like I see white folks in a better situation. And then we need to educate ourselves. We need to make sure we educate ourselves on how to handle money, how to buy property, how to spend money. We're not educated on that. I mean, we're finally getting to that point, but we don't even educate ourselves on how to take money and keep it in the community and just or even save it. So that's my jobs to help that out.
And Brady, you mentioned reparations. I know that's a big one that we've talked about for a long time. And like we said, that's a long-term situation. That's not going to happen immediately. What do you say for people that are like, I don't want reparations. Reparations is not going to help us. Do you feel that reparations will really help Black America long-term?
Yeah, it's a damn lie. The idea that it won't help us. It's what we are owed. It's not a handout. It's what we are owed because we had so much taken from us, literally stolen. Land, wealth, resources. So like Pierre is saying, with the jobs, if we were given our own land, we could recreate a Black Wall Street where we have our own Black businesses on site. We could have our own schools where we're teaching Black history, which I think should also be incorporated into the education system right now. But we need that land so we can create our wealth, so we can have farms and grow our own food. And that way we won't even have to deal with the diseases that we deal with right now if we're able to grow our own food, but we need the land first. So those are the kind of the assets and value that we can get in land alone. So yeah, we need reparations.
And I think a good thing would be if we had companies, Black-owned companies that taught us wealth. And toward like banks or something, so we can turn to them and know we're secure with those or our own people. Right. It's going to help us get to, because just giving some people money, the Air Jordan line's going to be, right. Jordan going to put out some more shoes, they're gone after the weekend and shit. You know what I'm saying? So if we have some places where we feel comfortable going to, banks or some kind of financial institutions, and say, okay, show us, I got this money. Show us what I can do. This money I get every month. Show me what to do with it. Let it grow. You know what I'm saying? In any manner, if it's in what do you call investing in certain things or building something, I think that we need that. And I think the government should have a pipeline to let Black people who are in that position come together and help the other ones,
So do we think there's a way, and I know that's something that you kind of do now, do we think there's a way for Black America to do that now, without governmental?
No. You just need to stop waiting for white people to help you. That's just the bottom line. I mean, our biggest problem is that we don't come together. We don't give each other resources to help one another out as far as, you hear it from the clothing. Small thing is sneakers. Yo, where you get them sneakers from? I got a spot. We are definitely in a position to where all of this can be answered by us. But we seem to want the assistance. You waiting for something that's owed to you, but it's not been given to you. So why do you sit around and wait? Why not just come together? Why we can't build business together? If I have the finances and you have the knowledge, why we can't do it? But it just seems that there's something. I mean, we have enough billionaires and millionaires that's Black right now that can spread out and help each other.
But I agree to a certain point, but that's what we were going through for years. It's time to change. And if the United States of America wants to give me some money, I'm going to take it. Right. And I think enough of us get the money. I'm not saying beg and ask, but if they're going to give us the money, if we say we ask, we demand, we want the money, if the government's going to pay us, then we can have a new day. Okay, let's say you're absolutely right. Maybe we didn't do it before. Maybe we didn't look out for each other before. But we start getting an influx of money with Black people, and we start telling, hey man, you're getting this money, it's time to show a better product. Instead of showing the bullshit that I grew up through, the Puff Daddy years of bling bling and popping bottles all damn time, start showing some wealth and investments and what to do with your money. And I think if the government gives us money and we can ask for it, we can demand it. It's time for us to get it. Because we're asking this whole question about what if they gave it to us.
Right.
Well, that's what I want. If they give it to us, I want us to put that money out there and collectively help us out.
They gave it to us. They gave it to us, and they did just what you said: pop bottles, make videos, and do things like that. I mean, you got the record companies that Puffy made millions of dollars with, and he showed everybody how to go party.
We're new now. We're new.
Right now,
well, let's do
what
it
is
now.
he talking about?
Let's talk about.
Oh, we need to come together. We need to do this after the years
But let's
of
do
popping
it.
bottles.
But let's do it now.
Right.
I don't want to stop it just because he did some. Because your past, just like Kamala. Maybe Kamala didn't do something right back in the past, or Biden didn't do something back in the past. It's a new day.
Right.
Damn back past. Today I want to start forward.
Right. I agree.
Give me my money.
I agree.
So do you believe in reparations?
Oh, yes. Yes, I don't care if we got to get $12 a piece. I don't care if we got to get it. I felt like they owe
12
us.
acres and a slave.
Yeah. And I can make $12 turn into $1 million.
Ooh. Okay, well help me out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we all got $12. We'll be back
You
next
don't
week.
know what to do
What are
with
your
it.
thoughts on that? I know the guys have, said a lot there, but what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think we need to hold white folks accountable for what they took from us. I get this idea of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, and I absolutely agree with Capone. The billionaires should be pooling their money together, to make sure that the dollar is circulating in the Black community. But Puffy having Ciroc, that's Black ownership. And now he has Revolt TV, that's Black representation that wasn't there before. So I do appreciate that, but we got to hold white folks accountable. Like, they just can't be running around here with our stuff and we don't say anything. They got our land. It's our land that we are owed, and we got to demand it.
Puffy don't own those.
He don't own what?
He don't own those. He don't own Revolt, and he don't own Ciroc. And he don't even own Sean John.
Well, it looks
I'll be
good.
there.
Yeah, it looks like he's partners and they
Well, in that
utilize
case,
it.
that's a lesson for us, which I feel like we've seen a lot of celebrities that it looks like they own it.
Yes.
And up front it looks like, but now it's time to have those conversations of now you need to own something.
Exactly.
Like, own it for real. Like,
Come on, hype is Black owned.
Like
here.
wilding out with
Yes, Nick Cannon, you're right.
I thought from the jump of Wildin' Out, like that was Nick Cannon.
Right.
In which he came up with the idea. I think he said he pitched the idea, but then at the end he got kicked out.
Exactly.
And it's like we're on the forefront, we get all the shine, and we're on the camera, but back in we don't own nothing.
Dance, monkey.
Yeah.
What's white folks say? Thank you. Make me my money.
But that's what it's time. Now, as we close out, I know we're ending the election, but there has been a lot of talk, a lot of people, especially within our community. I want to make sure that we hit on this, that voting, like your vote doesn't matter. So I just kind of want to get you all's thoughts as we close out. And I want to start with you. I know you just came back from voting, Rita. What are your thoughts, or what would you say to, that young person that's like, oh, my vote doesn't matter, or, I don't really care about voting. It's not going to make a difference. I want to start with you, Rita.
Well, there were hundreds of people in line where I was in line. So to me, that is a testament that they understand that voting matters. I'm talking about hundreds of people. So you have to just look around. Like, if folks out here still saying that votes don't matter, I would just encourage them to do their research. And when I say do your research, I mean do research on our ancestors, do research on Fannie Lou Hamer, Medgar Evers, folks who lost their lives fighting for voting rights because they knew the power that it has. It's your voice. It controls everything that happens around you, especially on a local level. When you have your city council members, they're the ones that are responsible for getting that pothole fixed in your neighborhood or getting some infrastructure popping in your neighborhood. So it does matter. Everything around you is a result of you voting or not voting. But also do your research and honor your ancestors. They didn't die for nothing. They know that voting has power, and it does.
Capone, I see you shaking your head a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I would say this. If you don't think voting matters, then just go to the poll and just vote for Biden. And that's it. We'll see if it matters, because there'll be a change. And for the people who don't believe it, just go give it a shot and say, let me just go vote for Biden. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Right. And let's just see. That's the bottom line.
Well, I don't like when people say my vote doesn't matter. First of all, we're too close to having a Black vice president, female. If something happens to Biden, we have the first Black female president. You're so close. All you need is take some time out of your day and hit that button. Just all you do. If you say it don't matter, okay, it's fine. But are you so entrenched in it doesn't matter that you'll never vote again? When will it ever matter? When will voting ever matter to you? In that case, if you feel like never, then don't ever vote. Don't ever vote. Then if you don't ever vote, then what it is? What you gonna talk about the change? Why you don't like this? Why don't you like Trump? Because white folks don't think like that. They think their vote matters. We're the only ones that think our vote don't matter. And just because your person don't win every year doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Right. Show other people, when other people see how many black people come out and vote, and trust me, when Trump season and the Republicans see how many black people come out, that's why they try to get black people. Why you think Trump is hanging around black ice cubes and all that? Because he knows black votes do matter. So don't be one that people feel like it doesn't matter. Just vote. Can we get a vice president, black vice president one time?
We are talking about black folks. We wouldn't even be able, Comedy Hype wouldn't even be able to own this damn building if it were not for voting. I wouldn't be able to be married to my wife if it were not for voting. Black people were literally illegal. You understand? That shit changed because we voted for those laws to change. So absolutely it matters. Your livelihood depends on yourself. You voting.
Don't ever minimize yourself. You're right, Rita. Don't as a black person, don't you ever minimize yourself that you don't matter. Don't ever do that, man. That means the machine has won, has defeated you already. When you think you don't matter and your vote don't matter and you taking yourself up to the poll doesn't matter. You already defeated yourself. They won.
And I want to end on this note in a fact that I actually learned and never have been taught. So every 25 years, and I just want to let that sink in, every 25 years, they vote on whether or not we will have the ability to vote. And when I say we, black people.
Constitutional rights.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Every 25 years. So the last one was in 2006. And I think it was like 98-0 that they decided to continue the Voting Rights Act. And they said it's a 25-year extension.
Right.
So that means
we don't even have the rights.
You're giving me a contract and you're voting on whether I'm going to be able to go to the poll and vote. So if our votes didn't matter, they're telling us, oh, I'm going to give them an extension for 25 more years. But in 25 years, we're going to look at it again. We're going to assess and see, do we really want them to vote again? So if our votes didn't matter, I don't think they would fight this hard to keep us from the polls, to really pull in our votes in all these pandering and pulling in celebrities and trying to control the masses. So our vote matters, your vote matters. And I really hope that you try to make a difference this year. And if not, please take into consideration, do your research, as Rita said. Do your research because your vote does matter and we matter. And at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.